How you doing, YouTube? Smokey Joe, Tennessee here. Smoking some Peter Stokkebye's Bullseye Flake in that little White Star pipe that I won on a contest a few weeks back. Kind of keep this one down in my workshop. It's kind of my workshop pipe because it's small and light. And you know those pipes where I really don't want the smoke in my face when I'm trying to do something. I can really keep it off to the side. It's good. Doing a video response to Jay's close call. And I've actually got two close calls I can share right now. The first one had to do with, I ride a motorcycle, have a Harley, and really enjoy riding when the weather's good. Today, weather is okay here in Nashville. The sunshine's popping back out after a real foggy morning. But back a few years ago, I had a Yamaha Royal Star, which was like a 1300cc motorcycle, pretty big size. And I was riding down a street called Old Hickory Boulevard. Now, if you're familiar with Nashville, Old Hickory Boulevard is like all the way around the city in some form or the other. It may offset or whatever, but it goes completely around the city. So if you were to ask somebody where something is and they say Old Hickory Boulevard, it could be north, south, east, or west. It's really interesting. But anyway, back to the farm. I was riding down Old Hickory Boulevard in a two-lane section in a fairly well-to-do part of town, and I was taking it easy. It wasn't going more than about 30, 35 miles an hour because there was traffic on the road, and there was a car in front of me. At least a good 2-3 car lengths ahead of me, which is appropriate for about 30 miles an hour. Ahead of him was what I call one of those handyman trucks. One of those trucks with the bed and the stuff and the ladders on top and buckets swinging and all that stuff. And I knew he was probably working in the area. But I was just kind of cruising along, and I would look from side to side at these really nice homes, just kind of back and forth. And one time I was going along. There was this huge spread, as we call it, over to on my right side, and I did about this fast. And in the time that I did that, by the time I turned my head back around, I looked ahead of me, and the car in front of me was stopped. And the reason why is the handyman truck, I guess, evidently found where he was supposed to work, suddenly stopped and got ready to turn, but he couldn't turn because there was oncoming traffic. That car was stopped, and I laid on the brakes. And what happened is the bike started going like this. My back wheel started coming out, and I was going over like this as I locked it. And I'm going in my mind, I'm going, this is not going to feel good. Well, for some reason, I'm being a believer. I was going, Jesus help me. And I know I was doing that in my mind and in my heart. And I will tell you, as God is my witness, all of a sudden, the bike, and I was laying it like this, about this angle, the bike suddenly righted itself, went back up straight, straightened up, and I stopped this close to the bumper of the car in front of me and didn't go down. Close call. Too close for comfort. But anyway, that's one. The second one I'll give you has to do with woodworking. I've been a woodworker for a long time, many years. And I remember one Memorial Day weekend, this has been, my goodness, over 15 years ago. I was working on a tabletop and doing a breadboard edge. I was trying to look for a board that I could, let's just say that this board is, just pretend it's longer, and is going to be on the edge of a long tabletop. You call that a breadboard edge. What you have to do is you cut a long tenon in the rest of the table, and then you cut a groove, or what's called a blind dado, in the edge, the breadboard edge. Now that this, it would be thicker than this, obviously, and longer. And what I would have to do is take a set of dado blades. Now what you do is, I'm by my table saw right now, but this is just a regular combination rip and crosscut blade that I keep in there. But a set of dado blades, I'll show you what this is, and these are the actual ones I used. Dado blades are this, where you mount them in there, and they have two blades on either side and a set of chippers on the inside, which in effect, depending on how many chippers you put in it, will cut that much of a groove. So this is what I had set up in my table saw. And what you do when you cut a blind dado is you want it not to come out the end on this side or on this side. You want the groove to start in here, go over, and then you lift out. So what you have to do is you have to start the thing by putting it down. I'll just turn back to the camera. Imagine a table saw is right here. I would have to put it down. I make a mark where I want that to start, and a mark on my table saw where the edge of the blade would be, and then another mark over here where I would take it off. So grab it like this, and I would start, and I'd put it up against the fence part here, put it up against the fence, and go down, go up, and then let off. Okay, pull it off. Well, what I did was I went down, and I looked at my mark, and I went, I'm a little too far this way. I could actually cut more in there. Instead of taking off and starting again, I kind of let off the tension, which, if you know anything about, just in case you don't, but if you know anything about them, the saw blade turns this way. So it's turning this way. You've got to maintain tension going that way, or it will take this and it will shoot it back. So what happened was, when I put down and I let off the tension to try to let it go forward a little bit, it took the wood and just went, just shot it back, and my thumb went, as these are turning, my thumb that was holding the wood that shot back went down into the dado blade. I hope you're not eating lunch or anything, or dinner. But I immediately went, oh! Up like that, and I'm going, it felt like an electric shock, and I'm going, I don't know if I really want to look at this or not, but then I felt the trickling of, blood, and I looked at it, and I went, oh my gosh, and I ran outside. My wife happened to be watering the lawn, or watering the flowers. I said, give me the water hose, and I put the water on it, and when that chlorine hit it, whoo, it took off. What happened was, it literally peeled my thumb back, and I had to go to the emergency room, and that doctor there, and I'm all dirty here from staining and stuff on pipes, but the doctor, he literally had to sew it all back together. And I could tell you more about getting a thumb block shot and all that kind of stuff and everything, but I just want to say that was a close call, Jay, because if I had not jerked back up, if I'd allowed my thumb to go and get caught by it, it could have either ripped it off or done some really severe damage. So that was a close call. And needless to say, since then I have taken great steps to watch for safety in the workshop. I do things like, I spent money on getting, safety things for the blades and whatever, and I work with push sticks and stuff like that instead of getting my hands close at all to any kind of blade. So close calls, very close calls on 2 of them. Thank God everything turned out to be okay. Well, that's it right now. I'm working again in the workshop, filling some some orders from you guys, and I thank you so much. Waiting on a shipment of briar to come in, finishing a couple of cherry wood pipes, and waiting on the briar to come in. Should be in the first of the week. But this has been a fun venture. And by the way, I changed the name of my Etsy site if you're interested. I agree with what Flieger said about not getting on here to try to be sales only, and I hope you don't think I have been. It's just been, you know, a great privilege to do this and to take my craft in another direction with the pipe making. And I only hope I can do it as well as some of the guys, Benny Sam and C-Star McPipe and Mark Balkovec and Flieger and wow, and Dees, man, these guys, and Moretti. Wow, he just subscribed to me, and thank you so much for doing that. But wow, it's I changed the name of my Etsy site. It's etsy.com/shop/Joe Case Pipes. I was going to brand them the Smoky Joe pipes, but that may just be a kind of pipe that I do. Instead, it's just going to be Joe Case Pipes. So that's a new name for the Etsy site. So that's where I put the link down below too. But thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. There's my video response to the close calls and some updates on some things from the shop. So anyway, that's it. God bless you. Have a great day.